This is a narrative about how technology helped me to realize that I wanted to be a writer. When students enter college, some people already know what major is made for them. Others are undeclared, or are pursuing a major that they've been told a million times they would be good at and can make a career out of, even if they don't actually feel that way about it. We can only hope that we make the most out of our debt and graduate with a degree in our best interests and passions. Not too long ago, my heart thrived on computers. My mother said that I was fueled by my love for technology. It was the first thing I did in the morning and spent all of my evenings immersed in. I was always good at computers. Sometimes I believe that if my last 2 years of high school had turned out differently, I would be a thriving computer science major right now. But it's hard to believe that that could have been my current fate when I can barely make my new smartphone function. It's astounding how a short-term change in atmosphere can truly change a person's character. It started when I was around 7. I had taken a deep interest in computer games. You know, the kind that randomly came in the mail or a cereal package. I loved the spelling games. It was another one of my strong skills. I was fascinated with words. I was fascinated with the many variations of them. This trait passed over to computers and coding, I guess. It was like piecing together a puzzle, and that was the highest form of entertainment I engaged in back then. It wasn't until I was 9 that I really bonded with the computer, moving on from spelling games to more strategic and logical hobbies like solitaire and Tetris. As an only child, I didn't socialize much, so when I was alone, which was often, I would spend hours on crafts and hobbies that involved piecing things together or taking them apart just to see how they worked. The computer was all of that, and then some, all wrapped into one. Well, by the time I was 11, I was fully invested. At the expense of others not using the phone, thanks to dial-up, I was online. I didn't sleep much because I was obsessed with online culture. There was so much to learn, but never enough time. Also, it was the way that I had begun to socialize, because I had become confident in my open-mindedness, having learned so much from articles available online. By high school, I had friends in my everyday school life, but if it wasn't at the school theater or trips to the library, I was home keeping up with acquaintances that I'd made overseas or across the country. I began writing, habitually. Ideas flowed more freely back then, because there was no limitations on what one could or couldn't do. My computer, I guess, inspired my imagination to literate diverse interactions and relationships, mostly of the teen and young adult genre, given my age at the time. And I guess that I didn't realize until college that it had inspired me to be a writer and a more avid reader of, some literature. When I was 12 was when I'd received my first computer, but by 17 I'd moved, and my circumstance forced me to leave my computer and access to the internet behind. Eventually I got a laptop, but by then my perspective had changed. I'd become more focused on reading, writing, and language. My love for technology had become somewhat unrequited. Technology had moved on. Every time I attempted to catch up, time would pass, and it would slip away again. Understanding technology still lingers in my heart now and then, and the idea and hints of hope that I could have been a kick-ass computer scientist dances in my mind, but I'm equally content being an English major, with a passion for writing and communications and all the ways that too is developing. Today, I'm an English major, and I feel like I wouldn't have come to this road if I hadn't first learned how to type. When I wasn't able to access a computer, it truly made me appreciate the basics of writing. It allowed me a moment to realize that I was good at that too. And when it comes down to it, I guess what inspires me is language, and all the doors and perspectives that it can unlock. And that, to me, isn't just a new form of media. That's timeless.